Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Holt podcast, the worst podcast ever made. Now, we've got a few talking points in this one. Some of them are, you know what I'm probably going to end up talking about. Another thing is something that I'm really excited about, but we'll talk about that later. I'm Tommy Holt, or T Holt, and I'm joined by Ted.
Hey.
Also known as Ted Big Eyes on my Minecraft videos. Charlie.
Hi.
Hello. Charles F1. So, I think first talking point to talk about is everything what's happening over in America. Started in America, and now stuff what's happening is beginning to happen over in England. Okay, so on the 25th of May, so last month, an American police officer called... Oh my god, I forgot his name. Oh my god, what's his name? Okay, so copper's called Derek Chauvin? Chauvin? I don't...
Chauvin.
That. Right, that's good enough. Right. No, actually, I need my phone. So on 25th of May, that's what I said in it, Derek Chauvin, knelt on the neck of a man called George Floyd while arresting him. His left knee stayed on George Floyd's neck while he said he couldn't breathe and he pleaded for his mother. That is disgusting. And then about 6 minutes into this period, George Floyd became unresponsive, and people who were watching urged the police to check his pulse. Now, this bit, I'm not quite sure about this, but I found it. I don't know if you can see it in the video. I'm not too sure, but apparently one of the police officers did check his pulse to see if he could find it, and apparently he could not find it. And this was 6 minutes into it. And then at 8:30 p.m, the police officer then took his knee from George's neck. He was taken to a medical centre, and it was there an hour later George Floyd was pronounced dead. That is horrible. That's just wrong. The fact that that still happens in 2020 disgusts me. Now, George Floyd is not the first person to have been victim of racism and police brutality in America and here in the UK. There's been so many. But now, because of this death, people have now said it's final straw, that's it. So there's been a lot of police officers who've gotten away with it. They're not getting away with it anymore, are they? Here we have there's clear evidence as well of it. Yeah. So they can't deny it. It's all on video. Video's gone all over. It's straight up murder. And I'm ashamed that one member of the human race can do that to another. We're not two separate races, are we? We're all one race, the human race. And at the end of the day, we should all be the same. But we're not. Okay, so if you listen to this, the date comes out. It is Wednesday, the 10th of June. Well, last Tuesday, it was known as Blackout Tuesday. And basically, what Blackout Tuesday was, all on Instagram. I'm not too sure about any of the other social medias, because I've got Twitter, I've got Facebook, but I mostly go on Instagram and YouTube, to be honest with you. That's what I go on. And all over Instagram, there was a hashtag that went around called hashtag Blackout Tuesday. And that would go with people would be uploading a picture. It's just black, a black square. So the black squares all over my Instagram feed. I did it. Jack did it. Nearly everyone I follow did it. And it was like, sort of like, how can I put it? There were people who, I don't know, people, well, everyone put it, like a sign of respect, that's what I'm trying to say. YouTube, I think Reddit's done it. Who else is, I think that might be it. They've, the YouTube play button, do you know the background, which is normally red, they changed it to black, and then Reddit did it as well. I think, hang on, what's Reddit logo? Let me have a look. Yeah, do you know Reddit? Do you know the little alien dude?
Yeah.
It's there, can you see that? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's normally like red, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, now it's black. Now, something that annoys me is this was an hashtag what on Instagram, and it's Black Lives Matter. It's what everyone are holding up at these protests and stuff. And something that annoys me about Black Lives Matter protests is people who reply with All Lives Matter. Now, at this moment in time, with well, no, actually, let me just say this. All throughout history, the more privileged person was white. Always. You never really saw a white slave, did you? So, even now, people who were white are still privileged. You can't deny that, can you?
No.
Plus, the protests, we're not protesting for everyone, are we? We're not protesting for black people and white people. We're protesting for black people to be respected more and valued. So that's why everyone's using that hashtag. So I think it's way more it's disrespectful saying all lives matter, because you're not protesting for that. So now I want to talk about platforms. Now, back in, when is it? 1955? I think with Rosa Parks, didn't know where she got on the front of the bus instead of the back of the bus, she got arrested. And that's when they started boycotting out buses. No one went on buses. Now that's really when it all started to kick off, I think. If I'm wrong, tell me down in comments. If you're watching on YouTube. They only were able to go to protests. Obviously not go on bus, boycott the buses. They only had these things to do to protest out like this. Where fast forward to 2020 to the present, we have somewhere where anyone from anywhere can show their support. The internet. So like social media. I've got so much respect for the people who I follow on social media who have participated in Blackout Tuesday and showed their support to the Black Lives Matter protests. So, people who I know, people who were in my year at school, like what they're called, oh my god, influencers. No, yeah, no, yeah, YouTubers. Logan Paul, well, Jacksepticeye, he hasn't been uploading for like, I think it was a week.
He uploaded a video yesterday
Yeah,
talking about how...
Yeah, he uploaded... Yeah, I haven't seen it, but is that because of what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. He ain't been uploading. Logan Paul, he's not releasing any vlogs. I think he's still doing... Is he still doing podcasts?
I don't know.
But it's Tuesday today, and it's not... I think it's... Is it Tuesday and Thursday when he makes a new podcast? I think that's when he makes new episodes of Impulsive. So, I don't know if he's still doing them, but I think if he does do them, they'll be related to this. Plus, whenever there's been a load of photos, hasn't there, where you've seen Logan Paul gone to these protests. So you know what I'm trying to say with platforms, like people are more, like, and they're doing something about it on the internet. They've got a community, haven't they? They've got followers, subscribers who listen to them. Going back to Logan Paul, he made an episode of his podcast dedicated to the cause, and he released a clip from one of his podcasts on social media. So, one of the things that Logan said in the video what we released on social media is, he said that it's not enough to just be not racist. That's 100% true. You've got to be anti-racist. I'll leave that to you to think about. Now, I want to read some of the replies to that post, because they annoyed me as well. Let me get the video up. I did read some comments when the video first came out, and please don't tell me they've gone. Hang on, wait, let's have a look. Oh my god. Someone's commented, white privilege doesn't exist. It does. White people get unjustly killed. It's not only black people. Even now, people who are protesting, doing harsh things to white people because they are white. This is racist. The rioters are part of the problem. They should be anti-racist against racist, but people turn it into black against white, and that is part of the problem. Well, white privilege, it does exist, but with rioting, these peaceful protests have turned into rioting. The rioting is just wrong. Now, going up to businesses, smashing windows, stealing out stuff out of it, them are family businesses which have been there for absolutely years, and people will have worked hard to get to that point where they are, and people are just smashing windows and stealing everything they've got, taking like money and taking the products that they can use to sell, and it's wrong. So yeah, riots. There's been some protests. Some of them has stayed normal, peaceful protests, like what the ones Logan Paul have attended. Whereas others have become full-blown riots. People breaking into shops, whether they are family-owned, food shops, or shops like Apple, big shops with expensive things inside. Also, talk about something what everyone seems to be talking about at the minute. Jake Paul. Now, Charlie, you're young. You're a fan of Jake Paul, aren't you? Well, guess what? To be completely honest with you, I don't like Jake Paul at the minute. He's not lit. Let me read you this article from New York Times. Videos posted on social media showed the 23-year-old YouTuber star at a mall in Arizona that was being looted. The social media influencer. I don't know whether I'm saying influencer or influenza. That's flu. Jake Paul has been charged with criminal trespassing and unlawful assembly after videos appeared to show him participating in a looting at a mall in Scottsdale, Arizona on Saturday. So he made a video, didn't he, where he explained it all. It never shows you him on the video, on the little clips that were in this video. It never showed you him actually doing any of the looting or rioting or like that. He never actually did anything like that. I'm not too sure about rioting actually, but he never showed you him doing any of the looting. The problem is, he was there. He didn't have to go into this mall. Surely he knew if he went into this mall, something bad would happen. surely Jake Paul knows that if he goes anywhere, if it's during a riot, a normal protest or anything, there will be phones out taking photos of him. Same with Logan Paul. These peaceful protests, there's photos everywhere. He hasn't took a camera out, but there's photos of him what other people have taken. So there'll be, even if he went to a peaceful one, there's cameras. There's always someone there. Anyway, Jake should know that he shouldn't have gone into that mall. I'm sorry, but he must have known there would have been consequences for him even stepping one single foot through them mall doors. His excuse on the video was that he wanted to film it. Now, even the reporters who've actually gone there to report for telly, they didn't step foot in it. They stayed outside. Do you know what I mean? He went inside, so obviously he must have known something wrong had happened. Now it says something here. One clip appears to show Mr. Paul handling a stolen bottle of vodka. In the video, I think in Jake's video, this is when he's not in the mall, he's outside. And it shows you, there's clear evidence that shows you not a fan, I don't know if it's a fan or not, but it shows you someone walking up to give Jake this bottle. But I think it's after they've been, I think police have just let off a tear gas bomb thing, to get everyone out of the area. Did you see it, that video?
Yeah, I saw the video.
He said something about something like that, and he got so much smoke, like bomb in his eye or something.
Yeah.
And apparently someone gave him this bottle. He didn't know what it was, he wrote. But no, it looked like in that article they were blaming him for stealing this bottle. There's evidence on his video that someone gave it him. So that's the only thing with media. They like twisting things, don't they? They don't like writing about good. It's like with this chair. It's like with anything to do with this whole story, riots and protesting. They hardly write out about peaceful protests. There's been some peaceful protests where police officers have just dropped all the weapons that they've been told to go out with, in case it turned into riots, and they've just peaceful protests, and they've just dropped them and walked with them. There's one video, especially what's been going round, of police officers that are talking about how it's all wrong and everything. And then he asks the protesters, what do they want him to do? And they say, walk with us. They'll start chanting, walk with us. You hardly see it like that written in the news. So yeah. So the riots, the protests and everything. Okay, so I've just realised where microphone was. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but it was next to the computer fan. So I'm sorry if you could hear that. Hopefully you could still hear us. So the protests, as like I said, caused and riots have caused these mass gatherings. Now, only problem with these are what last thing we were dealing with. COVID-19. We were all in lockdown for it. This has happened. Everyone's come out of lockdown. COVID-19 is still a thing. Yeah, I'm not saying don't go protest. Go protest. Just still social distance. Because it's still a thing. People are still dying of COVID-19. It's a good thing to come out of lockdown for. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying people need to be careful. People have got face masks on. But they're still way close to each other. That's my only problem with it. I'm not saying not do it or anything. But you get what I'm trying to get at. It's still something what's happening as well, and you do have to be careful of that fact. Okay, so this is probably the shortest podcast, but our stuff what we're using to record podcast with is running out of charge. Sorry that this is a short one, but I think podcasts from now on are going to have to be short, I think. But yeah, I think we've covered about everything. If what else gets said about Jake Paul or out like that, we'll talk about it. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe or follow. If you're on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, obviously. And follow us on anything else. Yeah, that's it. See you later.
Bye.